student. This is the third part of the chapter Globalization and Indian Economy, class 10th. In previous part, we have seen factors that have enabled globalization. In that we have seen technology, then after that we have seen what is liberalization, then liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. Then we have seen what are the trade barriers. Then in 1991 we have adopted liberal economic policy that we have seen. And what is the liberalization? That is removing barriers or restrictions set by the government is what known as liberalization that we have seen. Now come to the in this part, that is World Trade Organization. So we have seen that the liberalization of foreign trade and investment in India that was supported by some very powerful international organizations. These organizations said that all barriers to foreign trade and investment are harmful. This organization says that all barriers to the foreign trade and investment, they are harmful. So there should be no barriers. वहाँ barriers नहीं होना चाहिए. Barriers means here speed breakers. Trade unions, trade between the countries that should be free. All countries in the world should liberalize their policies. Means there should be no barriers in the foreign trade, and that concept is here the liberalization. World Trade Organization, that is WTO. World Trade Organization, WTO, is one such a organization. It is one of the such an organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. What is the aim of WTO? To liberalize international trade. Started at the initiative of developed country, and this liberalization can be started, or free trading or liberalization, it can be achieved with taking initiative by the developed countries. So WTO, World Trade Organization, that establish rules regarding international trade. We establish the rules regarding international trade, that is WTO. It is one of the international organization. And sees that these rules are obeyed, means this WTO frame or establish laws, and whether these laws are following or not, it is also the responsibility of WTO. These rules are obeyed. Whether these rules are obeyed or not, it is the responsibility of the WTO. So 149 countries of the world are currently members of WTO. Means it is the figure of 2006 till 2006. 149, these were the members of the WTO related to the foreign trade. Though WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all. In practice, it is seen that the developed countries have unfair retained trade barriers. You see here, WTO, though WTO is supposed to allow the free trade for all. WTO allow करता है सभी को free trade. In practice, it is seen that developed countries have unfair retained trade barriers. On the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing countries, WTO rules that force the developing countries to remove trade barriers. Means developed countries, those who are involved in the world trade, that force to whom? WTO to remove the trade barriers. Whatever restrictions are there in the trade barriers, these developed countries, they force to WTO. An example of this is current debate on the trade is agricultural product. So here, debate on the trade practice, debate on the trade practices. You have seen chapter 2 that agriculture sector provides the bulk of employment and sufficient portion of the GDP in India. Compare this to a developed countries such as US with the share of agriculture in GDP at 1% and its share in total employment is 0.5%, and yet this very small percentage of the people who are engaged in the agriculture in US receive massive sum of money from the US government for the production and for the export to the other countries. Due to this massive money that they receive, US farmers can sell their farm product at abnormally low prices. The surplus farm products are sold in other countries' market at low prices, adversely affecting the farmers in these countries. Means farmers' production, farmers, whatever they sell their production, their prices are very less, means low prices, and adversely affecting the farmers. This adversely affecting to whom? Farmers in these countries. It is the example of US. Very small number of people they involved in this agricultural work, and their GDP share is also less. So developing countries are therefore asking the developing countries, they are asking to develop countries government, we have reduced trade barriers. We have reduced trade barriers as per WTO रूल. WTO के रूल के अनुसार हमने क्या रिड्यूस किया? ट्रेड बैरियर्स. कौन कह रहा है? डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. But you have ignored the rules. Of WTO and have continued to pay your farmers vast sum of the money. You have asked our government to stop supporting our farmers. But you are doing so yourself. In this free and fair, is it free and fair trade? ये free and fair trade है क्या? दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. सो दिस इज ऑन द डिबेट ऑफ ट्रेड practices. Next one, impact of ग्लोबलाइजेशन इन इंडिया. इंडिया में ग्लोबलाइजेशन की क्या इम्पैक्ट है? व्हाट आर द इम्पैक्ट्स? मीन्स परिणाम, इफेक्ट. in the last 15 years, globalization of the Indian economy, has come a long way. What has been its effects on the lives of people? Let us look at some of the evidences. So with some evidences, we'll discuss the globalization or impact of globalization in India. So here, globalization and greater competition among the producers, both local and foreign producers, has been of advantage to consumers. See here, again I am telling you, globalization and greater competition among the producers, both local and foreign producers. These are the competition among the producers. They are both from local as well as foreign producers, has been of advantage to consumers. And whatever the competitions are there in this process among the producers, domestic producer, local producer or foreign producers, there is the advantage to consumers. यहाँ बेनिफिट किसका हो रहा है? एडवांटेज किसको मिल रहा है? They are getting advantage to consumers. Particularly well-off section in the urban areas. Well-off section from the urban areas, there is great choice before these consumers who now enjoy improved quality and lower prices for the several products. Means in this globalization process, there are competition among the different producers, local, even foreign producers, and in that benefit or in this competition, positive effect is for whom? Consumers. They are getting different variety of the goods produced by the different producers, different brands, different companies, and in reasonable prices. So as the result, these people today enjoy much higher standard of the living than was possible earlier. Means consumer satisfaction is there because of the variety of goods produced by the different companies, different producers, brands, and consumers, they are very satisfied, and standard of living increase. They are using variety of luxurious things, goods. Consumption is going on because of easily available with reasonable price, and they have choices to select the particular goods. So here, second, among the producers and workers, the impact of globalization has not been uniform. लेकिन प्रोड्यूसर्स और वर्कर्स में ग्लोबलाइजेशन का जो इम्पैक्ट है, परिणाम है, दे आर नॉट यूनिफॉर्म, वो इक्वल नहीं है. फर्स्ट, in second, firstly, MNC have increased their investment in the we are discussing impact of globalization in India. First, we have seen about benefits of the consumers, advantage of the consumers. Second one, MNC have increased their investment. Multinational corporations, companies, they have increased their investment in India. ओवर द पास्ट 15 ईयर्स, लास्ट 15 ईयर्स में एमएनसी ने इन्वेस्टमेंट की है इंडिया में, इंक्रीज देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट इन इंडिया, विच मीन्स इन्वेस्टिंग इन इंडिया हैज़ बीन बेनिफिशियल फॉर द MNCs. Means investment in India, it is beneficial to whom? MNCs have been interested in, they have been interested in the industries. MNC, they are interested or they have been interested in industries, to establish industries in India such as cell phone, automobiles, electronics, then soft drinks, fast foods or services such as banking in urban areas, insurance in urban rural areas. These products have a large number of well-off buyers. In these industries and services of MNCs, new jobs have been created. Indian people, those who are job seeker, highly educated, they gets work, international level work they gets in the India only, because companies, industries, they are located, their offices, unit located in the India. So in local level, they are getting the employment, job opportunity of the foreign companies, MNCs. So new jobs have been created. Also, local companies supplying raw material, etc. And for the MNC production, local companies, they are producing raw material to feeding these MNCs for getting the production. To this, industries have prospered. Means Indian local industries also prosper with this MNCs. So this is the second effect of the MNCs or globalization in India. Then third one, several of the top Indians companies, have been able to benefit from increased competition. Means Indian companies, top companies जो है, they are benefited, they are able to benefit, they have been able to take the benefit from increased competition. They have invested in newer technology. With the help of MNC, they invested newer technology and production methods. This local company getting boost from the MNC for their investment, foreign investment, and new technology for the production and latest production techniques, methods, and raise their production standard. And because of all this, local company raise their standard. Some have gained from the successful collaboration with the foreign companies, and some of the Indian top companies, they gain from the successful collaboration with the foreign companies. Then moreover, globalization has enabled some large Indian companies to emerge as multinational themselves. Means some Indian companies, they enable large Indian companies to emerge as a multinational company. मीन्स हमारे यहाँ की जो लार्ज इंडियन कंपनीज है, दे बिकेम द मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी विद द हेल्प ऑफ फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड फॉरेन technology. For example, Tata Motors, that is Tata Motor, it is the company related to automobiles. Then Infosys, that is IT. Then Ramboxi, it is related to the medicine. And Asian Paints, it is related to the paints. Then another one, Sundaram Fastener, that is nut and bolt. This company, it is related to the nut and bolt. These are purely Indian company, and this becomes Indian multinational companies because of investing or collaborating or investment of the foreign. These are the Indian companies which are Indian companies which are spreading their operation worldwide. Means this Infosys IT company, Tata Motors, then Asian Paints, they have their different operations or units in the worldwide. Means they become the multinational companies which are purely of the Indian. So globalization has also created new opportunities. Globalization that created what? New opportunity for the companies providing services, particularly those involved IT. The Indian company producing magazine, Indian company that producing magazine for the London based company and call centers are some examples. Means some of the Indian companies, their units are in India, but they are producing magazine for whom? For the London. And also call center, their call center in India, but they are for the London. These are some example. Beside host services, beside host of the services such as data entry, accounting, administrative tasks, engineering are now being done cheaply in the countries such as India and are exported to the developed countries. India that are exported to the developed countries. So here they have given here step to attract foreign investment. What step would be there for attracting foreign investment? In recent year, central and state government in India are taking special step to attract foreign companies to invest in India. Central government efforts are there of the central as well as state government to attract the foreign companies to invest in India. Industrial zones are called the special economic zones, that is SEZ, are being set up. It is one of the inspiration to these companies. SEZ are also have, SEZ means special economic zones. They also have work class facilities. Whatever SEZ are available in India, they have world class facilities just for attracting the multinational companies. Even electricity, water, road, transport, storage, recreational and educational facilities, all these. Companies who set up production unit in the states do not have to pay the taxes for the initial period of the 5 year, just for the setting, because initial period for any company, it is very important for the stabilization or settle, and at that time there is provision that no need for paying the taxes for the initial period. It is one of the motivation to start the production. Then government has also allowed flexibility in the labor laws. गवर्नमेंट ने भी एक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिखाई है लेबर रिलेटेड टू द लेबर लॉ टू अट्रैक्ट द फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट. You have seen in the chapter 2 that companies in the organized sector, they have to obey the certain rules that aim to protect the workers' right. Means in organized sector, workers get the protection. In the recent year, the government has allowed companies to ignore many of these. Instead of hiring the workers on the regular basis, companies hire workers flexibility for the short period. Whenever requirement is there, company hire the workers for the short period. When there is intense pressure of work, this is done to reduce the cost of labor for the company. However, still not satisfied, foreign companies are demanding many flexibility in the labor law. Means foreign companies, what they demand, or their demanding is for more flexibility in the labor laws. Means these are the steps, some of the steps Indian governments they are taking efforts, and inside is only to attract the companies, foreign companies, they have to be invest in India. Here small producers compete or perish, and if in the effect for the large number of small producers and workers in the globalization has posed major challenges in this process. ग्लोबलाइजेशन के प्रोसेस में जो स्मॉल प्रोड्यूसर्स है, डोमेस्टिक प्रोड्यूसर्स है, दे हैव टू कॉम्पीट और पेरिश, and these are the major challenges in front of the small producers and workers. So here what are the rising competitions? Here is given case study related to the rising competition. Ravi is the character here. Ravi did not expect that he would have to face a crisis in such a short period. Of his life as industrialist. Ravi took a loan from the bank to start his own company, producing capacitors in 1992 in Hosur, an industrial town in Tamil Nadu. This is the industrial town in Tamil Nadu. Capacitors are used in many electronic home appliances, including tube, light, television, etc. Within 3 years, he was able to expand production and had 20 workers working under him. How many workers are working under him? They are 20. Then his struggle to run his company started when the government removed restrictions on import of the capacitors as per its agreement at WTO in 2001. His main clients, the television companies, used to buy different components, including capacitors in the bulk for the manufacture of television set. And however, competition from the MNC brand forced the Indian television companies to move into assembling activities of MNC. Even when some of them bought capacitors, they would prefer to import, as the price of the imported atom was half of the price charged by the people like the Ravi. Means these are the barriers in front of the producer, just like Ravi. Ravi now produces less than half of the capacitors. Now production becomes less than the half of the capacitor that he produced in the year 2000 and has only 7 workers working for them. Before to that 20 workers they were working with him. Now their quantity become reduced, only 7. Many of the Ravi's friends in same business in Hyderabad and Chennai have closed their unit, and because of not getting proper aid help from the central government, they have to close their units. Whatever was going very smoothly, means without government intervention or help aid, production means in short they have to give the protection to domestic producers, and that is why many, just like Ravi's friend, they have to be close their unit wherever in Hyderabad and Chennai. Means these are the barriers or small producers. They have posed major challenges in these barriers. So here barriers, capacitors, plastics, toys, tires, dairy products, and the vegetable oil are some examples of the industries where the have been hit small manufacturer have been hit and hard due to competition. Automatically small manufacturer have been hit hard due to competition. Several of the units have shut down, rendering many workers jobless. I mean, because of shut down units, many workers became jobless. The small industries in India employ the largest number of workers, that is 20 million in the country, next only to agriculture. So this is about the rising competition in front of the MNC, and it becomes difficult to the small producers, domestic producers. Then competition and uncertain employment. Globalization and pressure on the competition have substantially changed the lives of worker. ग्लोबलाइजेशन के कारण और कंपटीशन के प्रेशर के कारण जो मीन्स लाइव्स of the workers, they totally change or adversely affected. Many industries have been shut down and workers became jobless. Faced with the growing competition, most employers these days prefer to employ workers flexibly. This means that workers' jobs are no longer secure. In this process of globalization, workers' jobs, especially domestic companies' workers, they become jobless, and there is need to secure their jobs in this competition. That thing is very important here, giving the protection. So we'll see in the next part with the garment workers, then struggle for the fair globalization, that we'll see it in the next lecture. Thank you, student.